there, this is RomWills coming back at you with yet another video. Once again, it is Sovereign Saturday. Start right now in living a sovereign life. Start right now. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it right now. Start right now. You know what? I've been doing these Sovereign Saturdays for a couple years now. And I'm going to tell you what. Don't think about it. Don't be like, well, yeah, I've been listening to Uncle Rob, and yeah, I'm going to start tomorrow. No, don't even wait till tomorrow, because one of the problems, and I was actually going to call it this, some people procrastinate. Some men procrastinate. They'll say, well, I'll get it started then, or I'll get it started then. No, start right this second. And you know how you getting started right this second? Just with the mindset, this is what you want to do. That's it. Because once you start with that mindset that you want to live a sovereign life, and what I mean by sovereign life, control what you can, leverage where you cannot have absolute control, where you can do the things that you want to do, live the places you want to live, deal with the people you want to deal with, even to the job you have or the business you have. You got to start it right now, and it starts with that thought. This is what you want to do. You can't think about it, because if you procrastinate, and as I said, I was going to call it that at first, but if you procrastinate, you keep doing it. You say, well, I'll get it started tomorrow. I'll start it next Saturday. I'll start it next month. No, you get it started right now up here in your mind. And where your mind goes, your ass will follow. Because as soon as you start thinking in terms of this is what I want to do, then the doors will open up for you. And it has to be that sincere thought. It has to be that thought like, you know what, this is what I want to do. And you have to want it badly. As badly as, you know what, you got to take a dump. Yeah, that badly. You know how you, yeah, I'm going to use that example. It seems extreme, but you know how you really got to take a dump, or you really got to take a piss? That's how much it got to be. Or you really need to eat something, or shoot. Or how you feel when you really got to go after that woman who got that big old round butt dunk. Or some of y'all like those big breastises. You know, think about everything you wanted in life that you had to get. Like you were just fired up. I don't care what it was. You managed to get it, didn't you? I've told the story several times. There was a time I needed to get a job. Even though I had my business, I still wasn't making enough. And I actually put on some clothes and went out. I ain't sit around looking at it and say, oh, I'll go look tomorrow. No, I got my ass up, looked for the job, came home that day with 2 jobs. And that's how things happen, because when you have your mind, you say you want to do something, then that's when you start seeing things. That's when you start seeing the possibilities. You want to be sovereign. You want to be sovereign. You will start from that second. As soon as you start thinking about it, all of a sudden, things will start opening up. Something that you might have been seeing for a while, maybe a job, maybe a business opportunity, maybe something will start opening up. See, when people go through life thinking, oh, I'm stuck here, their eyes aren't open. Their eyes aren't open to anything. They're not going to see anything. They're not going to see the things that they could be doing. They're not going to see the opportunities. You know, let me use another example. Times when I've needed another place to live. When I might have needed a place to live, maybe just to rent out. Not even to buy, but to rent out. I would start seeing like different places that were open. Or when you're looking for a job, all of a sudden you start noticing all the job signs open. Shoot, even when you're looking for that fine woman. Like a little trick I would do is I say, I want to see a woman with a big old butt dunk. And I would see nothing but women with big old butt dunks. Or with thick thighs that save lives. I would see nothing but women with thick thighs. And that was just an experiment. And you know what it was? My mind was just opened up for it. Now, you want to live a sovereign life. You want to live a life where you have control over stuff. over what you can and leverage where you don't have outright control. You still have a possibility. Let me talk about real quick that those areas where you don't have outright control. You're not in a position where you're forced to do something, but you still have to have the right mindset to even get to that point. It might be to get a job that you're going to a higher level. It might that's definitely leverage because you got to deal with other people. But then you might have an idea for a business. I mean, let me use that business example because I'm in business. There's been plenty of people I have met in my decades of life. They would talk about some business they wanted to do and they wouldn't do it. They were sitting around. They were talking about it, but they weren't making the move. See, you have to want it badly. But the move, before you even make the move, you have to have the thought up here, right now. As you're watching this video, and definitely once this video is over, you want to think, okay, I want to live a sovereign life. I want to live a life where I have control, where I have leverage. I don't have to deal with people I don't want to deal with. And you know what? You might have to cut off some stuff right then. You might have to cut off some stuff right then. You might have to start adopting some habits right then. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Even if it's slow. You might not be able to do it like right that second completely, but you can at least get started. You can get started doing what you need to do to get that job. You'll dress, and it might be starting, you need to dress well. You need to do some hard work. Let me use the example of a job again. You might be on a job and you might be doing so-so on it, but you want to be sovereign. Okay, what you going to start doing then? You're going to start doing better work on that job. You're going to start moving up. I always say I've had 1,000 jobs. There's jobs I needed to make more money on. All I did was just start working harder. And I had total control over that. And then I had leverage. Then when they needed somebody to move into a managerial position or to move up, I had the leverage right there. Because out of those thousands, I said, and I've always said, there's only one job I've ever been fired from. And even then, I still had some leverage. Because then I was still getting paid doing something else from that business, even after they got fired. That's, of course, another story. But you still want that. You still want to be in a position where your life isn't under the control of other people. You still want to be in a position where you're doing the things that you want to do. And you just got to start it right now. You just had to have that mindset, this is what I want to do. And not think about it like, oh, I don't know. If you're thinking like that, it's useless being on this channel. No, you need to start right that second. You need to start doing it right now. Right now, not even when this video is over. As soon as you hear what I'm saying, do it now. Do it now. That's where you want to go in life. You want to live that sovereign lifestyle. You want to be in a position where you don't have to show up to whatever. I'm going to tell you what, and I'm not just saying that. I can make these videos what time I want or not make them. I can do stuff when I want to do them. I can take a days off or I can do whatever. And yes, I had to work to get here, but I always had that mindset, having control over my life. All right? I want y'all to think about that. And I want you to start right now to live that sovereign lifestyle. Keep rising after you get started to become the sovereign man that you are meant to be. Peace and blessings.